Hi guys, and welcome to Premier Prediction Week 10. I do apologise that I sound like utter shit. I actually feel like shit. So let's not try and make this video very long. Let me just get straight to it. So we start with the 12:30 kick-off tomorrow, which is Sunderland versus Arsenal. Another good win for Arsenal on Tuesday night against Reading. I expected us to beat Reading, to be honest. We looked quite decent. Reading had a couple of chances as well, but we did. I think we made about 8 or 9 changes on Tuesday, which again was always going to be expected. I'm hearing Walcott's out, and I think Cazorla's still out. But I'm led to believe that Giroud will be in the squad tomorrow, and Aaron Ramsey's back in the squad tomorrow as well. I still expect Arsenal to beat Sunderland, to be honest. I didn't realise this, but Sunderland hasn't actually won a game all season, and or is it with Rodwell? Something about since Rodwell's ever played a game for Sunderland, they've never got a point or won a game or done anything under Rodwell. Probably start tomorrow now, but no, let's put that aside for a minute. If Arsenal, again, I've said this in previous videos, if Arsenal are serious about a title race, they need to start putting these games to bed and sending out a message. Very, very poor draw for us last week against Middlesbrough, quite poor. And I actually thought Middlesbrough looked the better side actually in the first half. And they could have had a couple of chances, could have gone 2-0 up actually, and we would have been in serious trouble. We were very poor last week in the first half. Did liven up a little bit in the second half, but didn't score. So no good. Good win, as I said, on Tuesday. Hopefully that put a little bit more confidence back into us. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Arsenal tomorrow. I'm going to go Sunderland 0, Arsenal 2. I do expect Arsenal to win this. Whether we get the clean sheet or not remains to be seen, but I do expect Arsenal to win it. We then go to the 3 o'clock kick-offs, and we have Watford versus Hull. Again, I've spoke about Watford before. Hull, I don't think Hull will play the attacking game tomorrow. I think they'll just come and park the bus. Watford as well, they don't attack that much. Let's say they're not in the West Ham's or Southampton's kind of category. As I did say before, if they could score a couple of more goals, and win a couple of more games, they could try and fight for Europe, but the 6th and 5th place. But I think Watford's problem is they draw too many games. Sometimes from winning positions as well, which isn't really good enough. And I'm going to go for a draw again tomorrow. I'm going to go Watford 1, Hull 1. I can't, no disrespect, but I can't see that one being an entertaining game tomorrow. But again, we'll see how it pans out. We then have West Brom versus Manchester City. And again, I didn't realise that Manchester City hasn't won a game in like 8 games. That's including Champions Leagues and stuff like that. Yes, fair enough. I know they did play Barcelona. But, in that time, I think they faced Everton, another tough side. But would you expect them to beat Everton? Leave it in the comment section below. They drew 3-3 to Celtic. I would have expected them to smash Celtic, to be honest. I would have expected a better game than they did against Tottenham. They got absolutely battered against Tottenham, and it could have been 3-0 to Tottenham if they had put the penalty away. But it was Tottenham all day on that game. It just wasn't Manchester City at all. Don't think Manchester City did much, to be honest. But I do expect them to. I've said this not nearly every single week though, but I do expect them to find West Brom quite comfortably easy though. I know it's at West Brom and it should be tough, but the players that Manchester City has got, they should be going into this game thinking, this should be an easy 3 points. I know that's the wrong attitude, but like I said, the players that they've got, sometimes you've got to give yourself confidence and go, there's 3 points today. If we work hard and work as a team, we've got 3 points here today, lads. But I watched them on Wednesday night against Manchester United. They were very poor. And again, I know they made 9 changes, Manchester City, but they were just really poor. Didn't look like they had a system or anything. And then again, Pep didn't really look like he gave a shit either, did he? So back down to business for the Premier League tomorrow, though. I'm going to go in Manchester City's favour, and I'm going to go for a comfortable win. I can't see a clean sheet because of their keeper, but I'm going to go West Brom 1, Manchester City 3. Hope they don't win, by the way, and we do. But because we'll go top of the league. But yeah, I can't see Man City struggling tomorrow. But I've said that before. So we then have Man U versus Burnley again. Man U actually played a very strong side on Wednesday night. And I expect them to do quite well on tomorrow. But compared to last week, God, they got absolutely battered by Chelsea. Again, same problem as Manchester City. Obviously, Manchester City didn't get spanked 4-0, but again, Manchester United didn't look like they had a system last week. They just looked so poor, and to concede a goal 30 seconds into the game, especially in a top 4 game like that, it's quite embarrassing actually. I've been there myself, with Arsenal. When top teams, score past another top team or any team for that matter quite early, it's plan A goes out the window and it's very hard to get into plan B. So I think that was the problem last week. But again, you would expect Manchester United to beat Burnley quite comfortably at Old Trafford. I'm going to go Manchester United 2, Burnley 0. We then have Spurs versus Leicester. We spoke about Leicester this season, completely different team to last season. A lot of people are actually tipping them for relegation at the moment, and I think they're heading that way at the moment. So I must agree. They haven't got that biting midfield anymore, and they're not giving Jamie Vardy the service anymore, and they're not playing. They're not starting with Riyad Mahrez. That's a couple of times he started on the bench. You've got to start playing. Your strongest team. Like I said, forget about Champions League. You ain't going to win the Champions League. Not a chance in hell. Yes, I know people said that about the Premier League, but not a chance in hell about the Champions League. Forget it. So you've got to start playing your strong team, in the Premier League. I've spoke about Spurs as well. They look really strong this year. Very, very serious title contenders. And again, I think they're going to be quite comfortable tomorrow. I'm going to go Spurs 3, Leicester 1. Don't think many people would argue with that, to be honest. We then have Middlesbrough versus Bournemouth. I said about Middlesbrough, they looked very lively last week, and for some parts of the game, they actually look like the better side, and that's at the Emirates as well. That's quite worrying, actually. No disrespect to Middlesbrough, but actually, fair play to Middlesbrough. They came to the Emirates, wasn't intimidated, and could have got themselves a couple of goals. It wasn't to be. Petr Cech gets us in it. I think it'll be a different kind of approach tomorrow. Obviously, we're beating Bournemouth, and they are at home, Borough, but I am going to go for Bournemouth to just nick it. I'm going to go Borough 1, Bournemouth 2. But as I say, if Borough can continue the way they're playing this season, and especially what they did to Aston last week, as I said, they could have got 3 points last week. So if they carry on playing that way, they'll be up there this year. So carry on doing that, Middlesbrough. Doing really well. We then have the 5:30 kickoff, which is Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. And an old birdie tells me that Liverpool always seem to struggle against Crystal Palace. They always seem to struggle against. Remember the 3-3. I think they lost 2-1 the season after that, and they only just about won it last season. I think it was last season when Benteke got the penalty. Yes, you could argue it was a dive or whatever, but they got the 3 points. And at the end of the day, if I was a Liverpool fan or if that had happened to Arsenal, I'd say, sod it, I don't give a shit if it was a penalty, it's 3 points. But the way Liverpool are playing this season, they've shut me up, to be honest, because I've said before, that they're disappointing you in games. Not this season. They have actually gone on a consistent form. They've done really well. Yes, you could argue it was a little bit poor against Man U, but still got the draw. And let's be honest, they could have had more goals against West Bromwich Albion last week. I know it was 2-1, but they could have had a lot more goals last week. So confidence is still there at Liverpool. And they absolutely dominated Spurs as well in the cup. By the way, I watched that on the telly. They absolutely dominated Spurs. So again, that's a big confidence. So again, I'm going to go for Liverpool to win. I'm going to go Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2. I still think that Liverpool need to work on their defence a little bit, hence the not giving them a clean sheet this weekend. But they're definitely on a consistent form, and I would now come out and say that they are serious title contenders as well. So it's very tight at the moment, the table. Quite enjoyable to be up there actually at the moment. So and especially if you're a neutral as well, it must be enjoyable for you to watch, you know, with it being so tight. So it's a good season this season. We then have the 1:30 kick-off on Sunday, and we have Everton versus West Ham. I think it's going to be quite a good game. You know, as I said, Everton's done really well this season. West Ham's just starting to find their feet now. I did say that a couple of weeks ago. You know, they need to start finding their feet, working as a team. Looks like they're just starting to do that now. But I'm going to go for a tight draw in this one. I think it's going to be a very, very good game, but I'm going to go Everton 1, West Ham 1. Really looking forward to that one. We then have Southampton versus Chelsea at 4 o'clock. I've gone for quite a lively one in this one, actually. As I said, you know, Southampton's done well this season. Chelsea, what they did last week to Manchester United would have given them massive confidence. Again, you've got to start considering them as serious title contenders as well. But I've gone for 2-2 in this game. I fancy one of those crazy Sunday afternoon games. You know, and you get those crazy games. So great crazy scoreline. So I'm going to go for 2-2 for this one. Bit of a crazy one. We then have the Monday night football, which is Stoke versus Swansea, and again, I don't think I'll be watching that one, to be honest. No disrespect to those teams, but I'm going to go 1-1 for that one as well. That's 1-1. So that has been my predictions for this week, guys. Sorry, as I said, I do sound like absolute shit. I'm really ill at the moment, but never fail to do the videos. I don't like to fail to deliver. Just one other note I wanted to touch on before I go. I know this isn't a Premier League fixture. But this weekend, it's the return of Steve Bruce. Obviously, he's gone to Aston Villa Football Club. And this week, we have Birmingham City versus Aston Villa. And that's going to be a long, long afternoon and a long way down the tunnel for Steve Bruce in front of the St Andrews crowd. How do you... I know it's a bit of a stupid question, but, you know, how do you think the fans will take to Steve Bruce? You know, they did have a couple of seasons, Birmingham, they did have a couple of seasons where they did really well under Steve Bruce. I remember the first season when he went up, when they came up to the Premier League, they had the likes of Christophe Dugarry, Kenny Cunningham, Matthew Upson, Jeff Horsfield, don't forget him. And obviously that famous victory when they beat Villa 3-0 and the Eckerman own goal. So they've had some good, decent times under Steve Bruce. But again, yeah, how do you think the fans will take it? You know, he's obviously he's flipped to the other side now. I'm actually quite surprised that that Aston Villa fans have took a like to Steve Bruce, actually, because let's not forget when Alex McLeish went to Aston Villa, they hated him. They didn't like that connection at all. They wanted him out. So I'm actually really surprised that that the Aston Villa fans have took a like to Steve Bruce. So it's going to be interesting. But I know I've got a couple of Blues fans and Villa fans on my Facebook page and on Twitter, so I will direct this video to you, and you can comment on the video on Facebook and via Twitter. And if you're a YouTuber, you know, on here, and you're a Blues fan or Villa fan, or any neutral fan, sod it, you know, comment in the comment section below. How do you think the Birmingham City fans will take to Steve Bruce on Sunday, and what do you think the result will be on Sunday? I'm not calling it. I don't know. But it's going to be a good game, I think. It'll be a good game. Villa's won the last two. Birmingham City's dropped a little bit out of form, but everyone knows that you rise your game for derbies. So we'll see how it pans out. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will see you next week for next week's predictions. Thank you for watching, guys.